I want to talk quickly about willful evolution. I just made that term up. I never thought of that term before, but there's an idea of evolution called Lamarckian evolution, which is discredited, and usually it's talked about as if, as if, well, if an animal broke its leg, then its baby would be born with a broken leg. But I think a more fair description of it was the idea that if a parent were to exercise a lot, run really hard, and get their muscles big and bulky, that the baby they had would be born with bigger and bulkier muscles. And that is fairly discredited as well. So we don't know exactly what influence activity like that has on the genes, but it looks pretty much random, like the genes you have are recombined. It's not from your behavior as an individual. So I pretty much go with that. But still, we have a control over our evolution. Yeah. Because when you choose what environment, you see, you have control. The environment shapes your evolution, right? If you change environments, then you will survive or not based on your ability to adapt. And you have a toolkit of things you can do that you don't even do. You could climb a mountain and you don't, or you could swim 5 miles a day, but you don't. These are things you could do. And if you change your environment, you may do them. And when you're challenged by that environment, then your DNA will, react through this process of natural selection, at least, and perhaps some other processes. But you definitely adapt. We know you adapt to your environment. So the human race, we should think in terms of our philosophy. What will that make us adapt to? How will our philosophy affect our evolution? Because, see, philosophies do affect evolution. Because when you look at the world a certain way, which is what philosophy is the worldview. When you look at philosophy a certain way, then, the world a certain way with philosophy, then it shapes how you interact with your environment, and it'll shape how you adapt. So, for example, hierarchy. Human beings always use approximations of hierarchy in their organizations. Even liberal organizations that are anti-authoritarian end up having hierarchies and chains of commands that are hierarchical. And a hierarchy, unfortunately, is a system that is designed to become corrupt by our definitions of corrupt. Because there's a natural abuse of power. It's not an abuse of power from the point of view of the hierarchy. The power is supposed to be at the top, the discretionary power. The total fiat of the higher orders in the hierarchy is built into hierarchy. So hierarchies have a one problem, which is there's all of kinds of people, all of these potential types of people, and we create an environment with hierarchy that attracts the worst sort. The people that want artificial power, the people that want to be powerful because they were assigned lieutenant duties, are different from the people that want to be powerful by inspiring people or by coming up with good ideas that people can work together to accomplish, or by being organizers, or by being teachers. People that want that kind of power, are like doctors that want the power to heal. That's different than wanting the power because I'm the vice president, chancellor in charge of everything 4.0, So that's my comment on willful evolution. If we keep up with this hierarchy as a way of organizing, then we're going to evolve in 1,000,000 years into just where all of our individuals are just gelatinous blobs, part of a big cancerous tumor on the planet Earth and probably other planets as well. On the other hand, if we find some more organic and distributed, sustainable systems, which I have great faith that we will, because cancers don't tend to live forever, they kill the host, is the thing. So, that's a bit of a scary metaphor, but let's just say the metaphor fails at that part. It's not literally a cancer. Anyway, if we figure out a more organic, distributed system of organization, which we've already figured out, then we can survive. We can be a healthy society of engineers and scientists and artists. And it's not really that hard. The systems do exist already. We just have to put them in place so that they can reinforce the kinds of humans that we want to become, the engineers and the scientists and the artists and free spirits, poets. Those are artists. I don't think there's anything else I have to say on that right now. But that's my version of being in control of your own evolution. And it works even with Darwin's rules. So I wonder what you think of that.